Tonight, it's the second straight meeting between this pair of Canadian teams as both sides inch closer to deciding their opening night rosters. For Winnipeg, it's another chance for youngsters to strut their stuff and for some pivotal veterans to see some game action. It's the Jets and the Oilers on TSN.
Hey, let's come together. We've been going at it too long, it feels forever. Time to take care of each other, let's do better. Staying next to one another, let's be clever. You got my
nice move by Iafallo, sets it up, they score! Niederreiter up, a brilliant feed by Alex Iafallo, and it's 1-0 Winnipeg. Here's Nemesnikov, scores! Vlad Nemesnikov, another power play goal. Rogers Place in Edmonton is the venue for the Jets' first road game of the preseason. They play their third of 6 exhibition games tonight. This marks the preseason debut for 33-year-old Nino Niederreiter. It's the 17th NHL cap for the Swiss winger, but the first on a line with a pair of players who also bring lots of experience and versatility to the lineup. This trio should figure predominantly in the Jets' success in this coming season of 2025-2026. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Jets on TSN. I'm Dan Robertson. We are at Rogers Place Arena tonight in Edmonton. It's the first of a back-to-back set of games for the Jets this weekend. Tomorrow, they will host the Calgary Flames. You'd have to think we'd get a look tomorrow at the first line of the Jets with Mark Scheifele, with Kyle Connor and Gabriel Velarde. Haven't seen them yet. We've seen the second line of Jonathan Toews, Gus Nyquist, and Cole Perfetti together already, so we'll see them, if not tomorrow, in the not-too-distant future. A line that we haven't seen yet is one we're going to focus on now. With Adam Lowry on the shelf for the time being, this appears what should be the third line when camp breaks and they start the season on the 9th of October. You see what Niederreiter, Nemesnikov, and Iafallo have done points-wise last year, all in the 30s. They all bring so much more than numbers. They all are in their 30s and have a combined total of over 2,300 regular season games. And once again, as always, joined by Kevin Sawyer down between the benches. Kevin, let's talk a little bit about that line. Let's start with Nino Niederreiter. Why has he become such an important player for this Jets team over the last 3.5 years?
Yeah, you know what? Since he was acquired from Nashville from Kevin Cheveldayoff, he's been a perfect fit for a lot of different reasons. He's so versatile. I think this team was one of the most versatile teams as far as the way their forwards play. Nino's a big, heavy guy. He's a power play presence. He is what they need if they want to have success in the postseason. That's big, heavy net front, heavy on the wall. He's respected and he's extremely well liked. A ton of experience. He's close to, I think he's 31 games shy of 1,000 games in this league. He's a big part of the culture, the fiber of the way this team plays. And like I mentioned, ultra respected in that locker room.
I think we both said versatility when it comes to him and to his line mates tonight. Let's talk about Vlad Nemesnikov and then Alex Iafallo and maybe how the three should fit together.
Yeah, these are a very unique set of players in Vlad Nemesnikov and Iafallo, and the fact that they can and have and most likely will play up and down the lineup. We're talking first line to fourth line, power play, penalty kill. Vlad Nemesnikov was the second line center for this team. It wasn't supposed to be. They win the President's Trophy. He's so intelligent. He's so smart. Now this year, whether he plays center or wing on the third or fourth line, or even on the second if there is a need, he's proven that he can do it. So that takes anxiety away from the team, out of the coach's play. And then you go to Alex Iafallo as well, where a guy that has played first line minutes, fourth line minutes, doesn't change what he does. He doesn't change who he is, no matter who he plays with. He's predictable in a good way. You know what you're getting from him. To me, that's the sign of a very intelligent, a very experienced and a winning team where you can have players play up and down the lineup.
Let's take a look at the line combinations for tonight. The second line, we'll see more of Morgan Barron down the middle and watch how that develops over time. Elias Salamonson was supposed to play his third straight preseason game. Brad Lambert is. Salamonson is sick, so Flin Flon Manitoba's Ashton Sautner will get the start, his first exhibition game. He's paired with Tyrell Bauer. Billy Hainele trying to put his best foot forward. We know the struggles he's had with injuries the last couple of years. A look at Hayden Fleury on the right side tonight, and fourth line Gustafson between DiGiuseppe and Samuel Fagemo. So the second game in as many games between these two teams. Almost time for the anthem here in Rogers Place Arena.
And now, fans viewing at home across oil country and here in Rogers Place, we ask you to please stand if you're able, remove your hats, and join the singing voice of your Edmonton Oilers, Robert Clark, in the performance of the Canadian National Anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Edmonton has seen consecutive long seasons, of course, going right to the Stanley Cup final the last 2 years, losing in 7, 2 years ago in 6 to the Panthers last year. And some preseason hockey for you here tonight. We bring you the starting goaltenders. This young man is expected to go the distance for the Jets. 21-year-old Don DiVincentis, the 2023 OHL goalie of the year. 20 games with Norfolk last year in the ECHL and 28 with the Manitoba Moose. A 7th-round pick in 2022. Calvin Pickard from Moncton, New Brunswick. He starts again as he did on Tuesday. His 4th year in the Edmonton organization. Former Avalanche, Maple Leaf, Flyer, Coyote, and Detroit Red Wing. There you see his numbers last year for this Edmonton Oilers team. Nemesnikov will start against Henrique, so a pair of veterans going head-to-head. Henrique played the wing the other night, down the middle tonight, and right away we get a look at this line of Nemesnikov, Iafallo, and Niederreiter, who we talked about off the top, and we are underway now in Edmonton as Stanley will swing it over. Hainele playing the right side tonight. He bangs that ahead off the stick of Iafallo. Darnell Nurse is there. He's paired with Troy Stetcher, and they look good at times last year. Nurse being pursued by Nemesnikov, and now Iafallo is after it. Hainele has that puck rolled by him, swept and kept in there by Logan Stanley. Chopping away is Nurse as Niederreiter gets an angle on him, and they battle along the corner boards. Iafallo can't knock that down, and the Oilers will clear it. It springs all the way back to Stanley. Jets with an early change, 40 seconds in. Stanley with some runway, and he'll take it. The Barron line is on with Kepke right now with him, and played into the zone. Sautner coming over the boards now for the Jets, and he'll grab that. I mentioned Sautner from Flin Flon, former Edmonton Oil King, last 3 years with the Moose.
Captained the Oil Kings back in his day here in Edmonton. Won a Memorial Cup with the Oil Kings back in 2014.
It's been an interesting day for him too, Kevin. He didn't expect to play, and we found out that Salamonson was sick, so he gets to make the flight and play the game. As As the Jets trying to keep it in the zone. There's Kapanen at center. He'll relay it. And away they come through center ice. Tomasek made the pass. He wears 86. And he'll steer it back toward the line. Kulak just kept it in. Josh Brown with a shot. He missed way wide. Oilers changing their D. So room for Pearson. He takes a look. Jets change now too. And Brown picks it off. What are you looking for if you're Scott Arniel here tonight from these Jets, Kevin?
Different things from different players, for sure. He just wants to get that good old feeling back from guys like we talked about with Niederreiter and Iafallo, etc. And Morgan Barron at center ice position. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that this year. So he'll be watching the young guys and who's impressing in that way, and some of the older guys in new situations.
Bauer fell. Quinn Hudson tried to move it back to the line again. Quinn's brother Lane was Rookie of the Year with the Montreal Canadiens last year. And Cole, the Capitals prospect, looks pretty good too. There's Brad Lambert on the forecheck. Disrupts the play. Lambert with Zilkin and Barlow. And Scott Arniel spoke highly of Colby Barlow after the morning skate today.
Yeah, he started this game off nicely as well. He's got more speed than he's ever had. He's leaned out. He's gotten stronger. And a nice little stick lift on the entry in that last drive.
David Gustafson trying to shovel it ahead. Looking for it again. There's DiGiuseppe. Phil DiGiuseppe won a Calder Cup last year with Abbotsford in the American Hockey League. Bagamo is after it. Gustafson trying to center it, and that didn't work, and they'll reset at center. 2:50 in. Gustafson wearing 41 this year, of course, giving up 19 for Jonathan Taves. Bagamo on the forecheck, an elite American Hockey League level scorer. Now smoothly through center comes Darnell Nurse. A 2-on-2. Steered it toward DiVincentis. It's kicked to the corner. Sotner was there. Centering pass. Mangiapane wears 88. A new Oiler. Fleury dishes that one. Bagamo maybe waited a little too long. Mangiapane through a crowd. It may have hit Henrique in front. DiGiuseppe lofts that off the glass and out.
It's a nice job from Hayden Fleury to use his body to front Adam Henrique to not allow that puck through.
Back in they come. Mangiapane just missed it. Now controlled along the boards by Alec Regula. Regula some NHL experience with the Chicago Blackhawks. He wears 75. This is Niederreiter. Bauer wants it. Niederreiter shot. Stick saved by Pickard. Nemestikov trying to find that loose puck, and Niederreiter bounces it back. Swung over to Isaac Phillips. Shoots. Looking for a tip was Iafallo. Now a clearing attempt. Savoy moved it ahead. Mangiapane at the end of a shift just stayed onside. Can't think he has much left in the tank. He's bodied and bumped off the puck. Kapanen swings it behind the net. Tomasek, former Belleville Bull the last 2 years with Färjestad in the Swedish League. Pretty good numbers there. Over a point a game. Kapanen, Howard, the Hobie Baker Award winner. Brown shot. DiVincentis trying to find it. Kapanen as the Oilers look to push, but Barron sweeps it away. Barron bulls his way into the zone. Morgan Barron shoots. Did well to get that shot away and finishes with a couple of pushes with Brown in the corner.
Good heavy lifting for Morgan Barron just to plow that puck quite literally out of the defensive zone. Some good things here. It was Nino Niederreiter's second shift, a little stop up and shoots the puck to the net, and just that predictability that I talked about earlier in the open, where both guys, Iafallo and Nemestikov, drive to the net, and you're not going to get anything overly fancy from those men, but they play kind of postseason hockey all regular season long, and that is a huge plus for a coach. When you know what you're getting, when you deploy your men over the bench, that's a very secure feeling, and Scotty Arniel certainly has that with those three. I don't know, am I at a Scotty level yet, Dan? Scotty Arniel?
Well, you guys are pretty tight, I would say. If he calls you Kevy, then I know that everything is all right.
Scott it is.
Forechecking is Barlow. There's Barrett looking to sweep it to the front. I mentioned it last year when they made him a center late in the season. I was fascinated to see what he was going to be able to do, and I'm glad they gave him a long look at center.
Why wouldn't you do that? You've got a guy that can skate, a guy that can think clearly, and he's a big body. I mean, he's got a ton of power, and it makes a ton of sense where, you know, he's going to get some time on the wing. I'm sure of that. It's just the way that things go with injuries or the need. But having him at fourth line center, if that's in fact where he starts, I think that's a reasonable assumption. And you know what? He can go up in the lineup as well and play wing or center as well. That's a nice weapon to have with a big body that can skate like Morgan Barron does.
And then you look ahead when Lowry comes back. Does he stay at center? Does Nemesnikov go fourth line on the wing? There's a lot of permutations. We know that.
Usually, Dan, in my time here in Winnipeg, there's been a lot of predictability in the lines. It's been one of the things that Winnipeg has done a good job of is having solid set lines and they tweak. Well, this year, there's so much unpredictability, and that's a good thing because they have so many different options to go a lot of different places.
Garaventi steers it back. Brown with a shot, and I don't know that Steven Chentis saw that. Josh Szymanski was in the slot area. Barlow's looking for it. Following up, Zhilkin. Shot. Wobbled that one wide. That'll bounce to the front. Sweeping at it is Barlow on the backhand. Lambert watched it go back. Hustling up to the hash marks was Fleury. Zhilkin for the Jets. Now Szymanski will slide that ahead. Szymanski played for Team Germany at the World Hockey Championships this past year. 23-year-old free agent. Fleury for Phillips, the former Hawk. 56 NHL games in total for him. Play right at the Oilers bench. DiGiuseppe trying to read that play. Savoy bangs it back, and now Henrique through center. They just keep it onside. The smooth skating Brett Kulak backs at DiGiuseppe. Back to the blue line. That shot to the corner from Savoy, the former Winnipeg Ice star. He pushes it back to the corner again. Henrique takes a look, skips off a stick, and over by the Jets bench. Everybody was heads up over there waiting for the puck coming. Jets changing, allowing the Oilers to get in. Good poke check away by Stanley on Mangiapane. DiGiuseppe now through center and just got to the red line. That dump in was knocked down.
A nice little step up from Logan Stanley. He gaps up when the puck is in the hands of the Oilers as they're countering it. And when it gets up to Mangiapane, it's as quick off of his stick as it was on. Good gap from Stanley.
Shots two apiece. Stanley trying to get to it again, and he does. Tomashek was behind the goal. Quickly, it's moved to Nemesnikov. He mishandled it, but Niederreiter was there to capture that for the Jets. Niederreiter shot. That went off his stick and wide. Nemesnikov will turn. He had 38 points last year, as we showed you in the pregame. Niederreiter, he's looked good to start. Kapanen will skate it away for the Oilers.
Veteran release there from Niederreiter as he uses Darnell Nurse as a screen and slips it just on the far side of Nurse. It's hard for Pickard to get eyes on that.
Kapanen knocks it down. Former Leaf and Penguin and Blue. Looking strong as he takes it into the zone. Kapanen back to the blue line. Cut off there by Stanley. Niederreiter absorbed a bump from Kapanen, who did a good job to get the puck free, and a wild shot there by Howard. Howard, 26 goals, 26 assists in 37 games with Michigan State en route to the Hobey Baker last year.
The Oilers have looked fairly crisp, all things considered, here in this preseason game, and that's going to be a challenge here, and it's going to test all the guys here from Winnipeg in the defensive zone. They've spent some time there. Here they go again.
Kepke with a tip attempt at the net. Dumped in by Philp, who's at a strong camp by all accounts. Moved quickly to Barron, and he'll knock it out of the zone. Brett Kulak now coming towards his 5th season with the Oilers. As that's moved to center, and Sautner bangs it right back in. At center, Sautner steps up on the play and act quickly. Had a man right there. That was Janmark, the 32-year-old. Janmark last year, 2 goals in 80 games. He had 3 and 22 in the playoffs. Here he is now, and that was just sent wide. Even Chentis may have gotten a piece of that. Janmark bangs it back. Regula fires a rising drive. Friendly fire. He hits Szymanski with it. Barlow picks it off. The Oilers doing a good job getting to the net. Barlow scampering into the zone. Oilers get back. Barlow trying to find it again. He is hemmed up. Clearing attempt. Now Garaventi, the former Senators second rounder. Up ahead, looking for it. Mariala, who played Tuesday in Winnipeg. Szymanski to Nurse with a shot. Score! Oilers lead at 1-0 on their 3rd shot of the game. The veteran Darnell Nurse.
Well, like I I said earlier, the Oilers have looked extremely crisp. They've maneuvered through the neutral zone relatively easily, and they've had a lot of time spent in the offensive zone, and that's Szymanski that hands that puck off to Darnell Nurse in high ice, and a shot that goes wide off the post and in through traffic. That's really difficult for DiVincentis to get eyes on that one. Nurse, 5 goals in the regular season last year, and he rings the bell for the first one of this preseason game here at Edmonton.
Darnell Nurse coming on to his 11th full season as an Edmonton Oiler. Opens the scoring, is 30 years old. Here's Savoy against Stanley, so the Oilers open the scoring. Henry, former longtime Devil, and Duck. Heinola swings it towards Stanley. Di Giuseppe was tied up by Stetcher, so no icing. Pickard played it around. Gustafson threw it towards Fagemo. Jets get it back. Fagemo with a chance, and somehow that stayed out. It was right in the blue paint and near the red stripe. He tried to tie it at 1, but the 1-0 goal by Nurse standing here in Edmonton so far in period 1.
Expectations are high here in Edmonton. There's head coach Chris Knobloch, of course. 2 back-to-back seasons with 100 points or more, and losing in the Cup Finals in 6 games and 7 games respectively. I like what Chris Knobloch said a couple of days ago. He said this is an open tryout. Whether you have an NHL contract, an AHL contract, we want somebody to steal a job. They've got some healthy competition in this lineup as well. You look at guys like Matt Savoy, Isaac Howard up front, David Tomaszek, who led the SHL last year in points. They've got some guys here, some young guys or some veteran guys that have little NHL experience that could push for some jobs. That's a healthy thing for a team that wants to win.
Knobloch just turned 47 years old the other day. His team is up by 1. Nemesnikov put it behind the net. Janmark centered it, but Niederreiter was able to get a body on Phil. Iafallo coming through center with it. He got it in. The Jets changing their defenseman now. Brown under a little bit of pressure. 3 forwards in after it for the Winnipeg Jets. Steered back to Tyrell Bauer for Phillips. Shoots. That rattled off an object to the corner. Nemesnikov right on it. Got it back to the line again. And it is Bauer looking for a lane. Clanks off the backboards. And Edmonton with possession. Good patience coming through center for Noah Philp. 15 games with the Oilers last year. A little pressure and a check on Phillips, who's trying to find it now. Phillips, a large defenseman, 5th round pick of the Hawks in 2020. 23 years old. Oilers get it. Pass for Regula. Waits shot. Kicked away by DiVincentis, who was brilliant at the rookie showcase. He had an excellent game against the Montreal Canadiens, where it was a big reason why the Jets won that particular matchup.
I think they have high hopes for DiVincentis, who was the OHL goaltender of the year in his 2nd year with North Bay Battalion. He's a big man, and he is extremely mobile.
Trying to find it there, and he acrobatically helps keep it out with a pile-up in front. DiVincentis spinning around and is able to make the save and keep this a 1-0 Oilers lead on a goal by Darnell Nurse here in Rogers Place.
Talked about off the top, Nino Niederreiter does a really nice job. Nothing fancy, little chip from Iafallo. Watch Niederreiter stick on puck, body on body, so he stops it, and in tight there's the support. So now you can go low to high, and this is just fundamental 3rd, 4th line hockey. The reason I show it is this is leadership in its truest form, and that goes for not just guys like Barron, Cole Koepke, but even a guy like Barlow can really learn from simple things like that. If you invest on the wall, you get a chance to score goals. It's a well-done play.
Barron, Koepke, and Pearson out there now. Good skating by Koepke as he brought it into the zone. Scott Arniel talked about him last week. He said he's got some size. He can move. He's got some bite and a little bit of finish to his game. He's out there after the puck now. Pearson centering pass. Barron in front. Here's a gliding puck toward the goal line. Oilers have gotten a couple of breaks as it's just stayed out the last couple of opportunities for the Jets. Chopped that by Howard. It goes high and off the glass. Not a lot of whistles here in this opening 12 minutes.
Suddenly this 4th line, or projected 4th line for Winnipeg, looks awfully big. Tanner Pearson's a big body. He's good on the wall, and he just showed you his hands. A nice little play in tight to Morgan Barron. Good play.
Under Pearson, so much experience. He had 12 goals last year with the Vegas Golden Knights. Fleury, this smooth skater, turns the corner and away he goes. Hayden Fleury navigates through neutral ice, plays it in, he'll go after it. Fleury first on it behind the net. Nice work. Looking for Giuseppe. Sautner steps up for the Jets, who trail it 1-0. Collision behind the net. Bagamo and Nurse pinching Fleury, and he's on it again. Hayden Fleury finds Giuseppe. Snapshot through it. Crowd knocked down in front as Bagamo was parked right in the goal mouth. And Nurse takes the pass. He'll hand it off and catch up under the stick of Nurse after that pass from Josh Szymanski, who set him up. Szymanski and Järventie had the assist on that Nurse goal, the only one to date. Giuseppe fires it around the boards and in. Shot 7-3, Winnipeg. Brown gets it ahead to center. Knocked right back out. They'll try and reset as Brown goes after it one more time. Josh Brown, former Panther, Senator, Bruin, Coyote, and now with the Oilers, he's a veteran. He got it to center.
A robust D-man that's just a first pass guy that'll make you pay and wants to. He's a tough guy to go against.
Mangiapane fed that one through for Savoy with 54 points in the American Hockey League last year. Mangiapane, former Flame and Cap, that went off a stick and back to center ice. Turning is Cam Dineen. I thought he skated pretty well Tuesday in Winnipeg, and wears 55 and has it now. Dineen for Regula. Turns back away from the check of Zilkin. Pickpocket. Nino Niederreiter from the dog with a wild shot. That may have just started to flip on him a little bit as he pulled the trigger. But they'll reset. Heinola for Stanley. Tries to elude Janmark and weakly pushed it ahead. He'll follow up. Now a 2-on-1. Just briefly for the Oilers. Jets get back in quickly. Back to the blue line. Kulak shoots. Stopped by DiVincentis and clear to the hash marks. Kulak fumbled it. Stetcher was there. Hudson to the point. Sticks a big rebound. Janmark looking to center. That hit eye foul. And he'll go back after behind the net. The Jets are able to get it out. Stetcher, who told Kevin the other night that he couldn't see his name on Kevin's score sheet on his roster.
He was doing a lot of snooping on a roster sheet.
You're always watching down there. You're in tight with the Oilers down there tonight, Kevin.
Yeah, it's a little awkward to be honest with you, talking Jets hockey on the Oilers bench, but thanks to them for allowing this.
Great location for both of us here at Rogers Place as the Oilers looking to go back to work. Spinning nicely. Howard. Point pass was interrupted, and the game's first power play will come to the Winnipeg Jets. A tripping call on the ensuing penalty. The Jets came close. They haven't been able to solve the goaltender yet. Pickard and net.
Edmonton 45, minor penalty tripping.
First power play of the game belongs to the Winnipeg Jets. A tripping call against the Oilers, and Cole Koepke, a little bit of a toe pick there. Not much. Isaac Howard is the guilty party. He's got questions. Opportunity for some special teams action.
Nemestikov, Niederreiter, and Bagamo out there with Iafallo. And that's what we've seen through the now 2 games in a bit. 4 forwards whenever they've had the power play. Fleury, the lone defenseman of the lineup. Iafallo to take the face-off now. And he'll win it. Fleury steps up. Fumbled it a little bit, but was able to push it towards Nemestikov in the end. He'll take it toward the corner. Niederreiter. Nemestikov. The left circle is Bagamo. He'll wind up and snap it right on. Rebound. Iafallo looking for an opening. Will he wrap it? No, he'll hang on. Take it to the corner. Iafallo for Nemestikov as they reset. One-time attempt. Fleury. That was blocked on its way through as they scramble for it in the near corner. Bodies all after it. Shoving goes on as leaning into his man there was Phil. Continue to dig away and it pops loose. Nemestikov with a minute 15 to go in the Howard penalty. And finally the Oilers get it down.
Number 16 for the Jets is Bagamo, and he had that one-timer shot that was fed to him on that flank, and keep an eye on him. He scored 29 goals in 60 games with the Ontario Reign in the AHL last year. He's on a 2-way deal here with Winnipeg, but a guy that could be a depth answer if they need some scoring touch.
Youngsters on the second unit, Barlow, Lambert, and Zhilkin, as the Oilers are able to clear it. And Heinola will retreat with 3/4 of a minute to go in the penalty and 3.5 left in the first period. Nurse with the goal. This is Zhilkin. He already has a preseason goal. Pearson now into the zone. Sends it back to Ville Heinola for Colby Barlow. Shoots it. That's blockered away. Pickard with a good look at it. Barlow hoping to grab it again perhaps. And he does. Not sure of the quality of the ice. We've seen the puck do some crazy twists and turns so far as it sent that back down. Heinola. Stanley able to needle it through, and Lambert in traffic. Lambert joined by Barron and Stanley. A couple of Oilers there. Brown just looking to kill the remainder of the penalty. Stepping out is Morgan Barron. Driving the net is Koepke. Barron. Koepke shoots to the front of the net with Lambert hoping for a loose puck.
Good poise there from Barron to hang on to that puck. It's the fadeaway from Koepke to the back door. He makes the play behind the net. Good patience. A lot of guys would have just rammed that right into the shin pads.
Stanley to Koepke. Net drive Gustafsson. Morgan Barron shoots. That hit Koepke. Gustafsson behind the Oilers' goal. So Winnipeg unable to tie the game on the power play. Comes free quickly. Fleury fires a rising shot. Barron can't find it. Been spending a little bit more time in the Oilers zone. Knocked down by a high stick. Play goes right on as it's brought in by Mariala. He'll drop it. Kapanen with a drive and a stop and a hold by Dom DiVincentis.
Well, the Jets' first power play is fruitless, but not to be forgotten. They were the best power play in all of the NHL last year, in a large part because of the guidance from that man, Davis Payne. I liked what he said the other day after practice. Talked about doing a lot of the same things, the structure, the foundation of their power play that brought them so much success last year, but also staying ahead of it. Other teams are paying a lot of money to try to stop them. You know they'll be going to the video, so making sure that some things come into this year from last year, but also having different places to go on the power play to make sure that you stay sharp and you stay ahead of the league. Not an easy thing to do.
Jets registered 2 shots on the game's first power play. Garventi lets that go back for Fleury. Would have been offside. Fleury almost got tangled there with Nemesnikov. You can expect those type of plays in the exhibition season, of course. Centering pass, tipped right on goal. DiVincentis keeps an eye on it. Tomacek now for Edmonton. Back to the blue line. Shot whistled wide by Kulak. Centering pass, and waiting there is Nemesnikov. And he'll cut back behind the goal. 38 points last year, second career high. Stolen, and Szymanski scores. Josh Szymanski has a goal and an assist, and it's 2-0 Edmonton.
Yeah, that is a nice little chip shot to the top corner from Szymanski, who spent his last 4 years in Germany. This is not really what Jets hockey looks like. Nemesnikov, who's in his first game in preseason, a little floater. He's trying to get that one to the flank, and that one gets easily plucked out of thin air, and that's going to get everybody out of structure. Nice little backhanded compliment into Szymanski, and he just wedges that one up over the shoulder of DiVincentis on the short side. That's a nice little finish from Szymanski. 2-0 here with 1:15 to go in the first.
Tomacek with a fine setup. I got caught in the middle there. I was saying how Nemesnikov last year with his second most points in a season. His most is 44. He had 38 last year. That shot hit a body and skip to the side. So 2-0. Winnipeg down in the first period, which has a minute left in it.
You might not see Nemesnikov make another play like that all year long, and it's good. Shake the rust off, and you kind of get a feel for the game, but that's not a play that you're going to see him make very often.
Phillips tries to work it up the boards. Power down. Giuseppe filled one right after him, and Fagemo was checked right away by Stetcher. Both teams changing with a half minute left in this period. Szymanski from Tomacek at 18:37. So we talk about the Oilers. Coach Knobloch wanting guys to win spots or impress. A couple points from Szymanski. It's a good play for some other hopefuls so far. There's Pearson coming away. Dashing to his right is Barlow. This is Lambert. Pearson swept it wide. Heinola to the hash marks. Brad Lambert Centering feed. Brown will try to eat the remainder of the clock. And in the corner, he'll send it around, and that is the end of 20 minutes of play.
Well, listen, these preseason games are not meant to be, or the focus isn't whether you win or lose. It's about working on your game, evaluating your players. If I'm Scott Arniel, I'm going back into the room saying, okay, perfect. Now we've got some stuff to talk about. They gave up the defensive zone way too easily. Edmonton looked crisp. They looked like they were the faster team in that first period. So Scott Arniel will go talk about forwards tracking back more, allowing the defense to stand up more and having a better gap. Bit of a loose first period, and the Jets have paid for it with 2 goals.
Nurse and Szymanski with the goals. When we come back, we will chat with Nino Niederreiter. Edmonton leading Winnipeg 2-0 after 2. You're watching after 1. You're watching Jets on TSN. Darnell Nurse off the post and in from Szymanski and Järventie. You mentioned it in the first. Szymanski with a 2-point first period. Tomacek, another hopeful, trying to make the team shots 8 apiece. Dan Robertson and Kevin Sawyer, glad to be with you tonight. Kevin, you anticipate any adjustments from the Jets moving into period 2?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I'll be looking for is, like I mentioned at the end of the first, where defense need to be able to stand up a little bit more here to deny access to their own defensive zone, where Edmonton seem to get in way too easy. And to do that, you need the forwards to be on the same page and recognize transition and then be on the same page so that you're working extremely hard back to your own defensive blue line so your D-men can stand up. And that way, I think you'd spend a little more time north of that red line, see if they can get back into this game down by 2.
You know, this building has a nice memory for me. This is where you and I first called an exhibition game. If you remember, I sat right where I'm sitting right now. You were beside me, thankfully, for that. So a nerve-wracking time, but all of a sudden it was 3 years ago.
If I remember right, you introduced yourself as the new play-by-play guy for the Winnipeg Jets. That highly anticipated news coming out of Winnipeg. Those were great days. I had a lot of fun since then.
Oh, for sure. And looking forward to a lot more great hockey again in this coming season as Heinola is knocked down by Mangiapane. Stetcher with the outlet, and away they go. Mangiapane, that's golfed right into the Oilers bench by Logan Stanley.
Third game of the preseason for big Logan Stanley, if I'm not mistaken, and we know that there's a wealth of riches on the back end for the Winnipeg Jets. 9 NHL defensemen. That goes from Josh Morrissey all the way down to Ville Heinola. And they've got a lot of big men on the back end as well. Of course, Luke Schenn and Fleury, who just signed a 2-year deal. Colin Miller and Logan Stanley will round out the bottom 4.
Lots of options for Scott Arniel as Pearson looked to get that deep, and Sautner will do just that as Bevan Mills ducked that jump in. The linesman working tonight along with Travis Toomey. The other linesmen, Graham Skillender and Grady Hamilton, are the referees here tonight. Knocked down and carried forward by the skilled Howard. He'll dump that one in. Pearson had it knocked away behind the goal. Fleury first on it for Winnipeg, and Pearson follows up. Love down by Koepke, took a bump. Kapanen was right there waiting. Winnipeg attempting to clear, but it's Kapanen. He'll steer it down beside the net. Howard tees it up. There's a shot. DiVincentis watches that one wobble wide. Now Koepke played it off the boards and trying to lead Morgan Barron, charging after it. Winnipeg is changing. He'd like to buy some time. Can't hang on to the puck. Philp as Barron goes off on a change. Nurse. Long lead pass relayed back. Deneen, the defenseman, carries in 4. Jets are back now 5. Nemesnikov looking to clear. Iafallo with a bouncing puck. Quinn Hudson sent around by Philp. Janmark lets it go to the point. Deneen with a shot that rattled off Nemesnikov and out. So the Oilers reset. Again, they'll play 3 times this year, and all 3 games within a month. A couple in December and 1 in the new year, and that'll be it for the regular season. As the Oilers bring it in, Hudson delays, trying to tee it up. He fanned on the puck a couple of times, somehow got it back. Bouncing in front. Phillips steered it ahead. Play pretty ragged right now. Hudson, Janmark, little dribble to the corner, and Phillips gets it out with some help from Niederreiter. Philp off the stick of Iafallo. Racing ahead is Stetcher. Backing up, setting it up. Score! Philp, nice shot. 3-0 Edmonton.
scored 19 times last year with Bakersfield in 55 games, and this is another example of the Jets were the forwards. You don't see them, right? So now the D have to back in, and you allow easy access. You got the Oilers skating downhill, and Noah Philp takes a nice little pass from Troy Stetcher, the righty on the left-hand side of the ice. Perfectly placed pass, and that shot to the top corner. Noah Philp was a guy that's slated right now around Edmonton. The word is that he's got the best chance to center the fourth line here. He's a big body. He's got some touch. He just showed it there, and he can play an edgy game. It was a nice goal from him.
Oilers coming along again. Talked with the legendary Bob Stauffer the other night, Kevin, in Winnipeg. He's, of course, does a lot of different media for the Oilers and speaks really highly of Noah Philp as it's redirected in.
Don't let him know that you just called him a legend, please, until we get out of the building, Dan.
Well, he's on another network, so he's no way he's watching.
It'll get back to him, trust me.
That's right.
He's a good guy.
He's a beauty. 3-0. Edmonton ahead as Mariano will make the pass, and it's relayed back to Darnell Nurse. So he skips through center and floats that in off a stick. 3 goals on DiVincentis in 10 Oilers shots to this point. Backup is Isaac Poulter. The backup for Edmonton is Samuel Johnson. And here comes Di Giuseppe. Jets looking to get on the board. Di Giuseppe after his own dump in. Regula takes his check. Centering attempt. That almost went in. Pagano just pounded that off the left skate of the goaltender Picker. Mangiapane reaching back. One-time 30-plus goal scorer for Calgary. He is knocked down. Fagemo looking for it, and he's got it. Samuel Fagemo fires it. Glove save. Pickard. Fagemo thought of setting it up, but he decided to shoot the puck.
Nice release once again from Samuel Fagemo. He's a guy that's his calling card. He's an all-star at the American Hockey League level. He had the most goals back in 2020 in the World Junior Tournament for Sweden, and there he's looking to beat Pickard on the far side. That one would have been wide, but he does have a release. He can score, and that's why the Winnipeg Jets went out and got him. It'll be another one of those depth answers.
Face-off win. Sautner bangs one on goal. The rebound clear to the boards quickly. That's a high shot. Golfed out of play as Fleury took that shot.
Earlier, I talked about the bottom 4 D-men that will round out the Winnipeg Jets roster. I'm probably speaking out of turn. I mean, there's still things up for grabs. Don't forget about Elias Salamonson, who was supposed to play in this game. He fell ill, so he had Ashton Sautner take his place, but he's a guy that's raising a lot of eyebrows. 9 guys that have NHL experience, and now Salomonson's looking to try to steal a job.
Yeah, no disrespect to Sautner. I was really looking forward to seeing Salamonson again tonight.
Me too.
He was going to play.
Me too.
The late offside. Pearson left to set up.
He's a right-handed shot, and you've got guys like Miller and Shen that are more than able bodies, big bodies that are going to be there for the Winnipeg Jets. But you look down the road, and there's some spots here, and I see Salamonson being a Winnipeg Jet before very long at all.
Very professional look to his game already at his tender age. His squeaking past to check was Barron. Brown trying to take him out. Barron fishing for it. Niederreiter back near the blue line. Turns and just slid it to the corner. Pearson wanting that puck. Turned over. Niederreiter patient. Back to the line. Bauer is open. Not a great pass, though, from Phillips. It floats to the corner. Niederreiter wins the race. Phillips comes up too. Isaac Phillips trying to make things happen. Centering pass all the way back to Tyrell Bauer. Now to the side of the goal. There's going to be a fight. It's going to be Bauer and Brown. And watch out for this. Bauer can chuck him.
These are 2 tough customers. One with NHL experience, Tyrell Bauer without, but he has chucked them with the biggest heavyweights at the American League level. This should be a doozy.
Josh Brown, 31. Ty Bauer, 23 years old. And gets loose with a couple. Bauer with a pair of his own.
Bauer is a character man, and he will not back down from anybody. He'll stand up. He'll put his chin in there and won't back down from anybody. Look at the body shots.
They're still going. Bauer delivered about 3 in a row 10 seconds ago that looked pretty dangerous. They're still at it. That's it.
Give some respect to Brown as well. Before the fight started, he let Bauer know there was a stick in his way. kick that thing out of the way so that we can get this underway. And that was a good heavyweight tilt from two willing participants. Terrell Bauer is
Winnipeg 77, Edmonton 44, 5 each for fighting.
And his coach in Manitoba, Mark Morrison, and Scott Arniel knows all about the character of this young man. I said last broadcast, you know, whether he has a long NHL career or not, you just hope that he gets at least one opportunity to play in the National Hockey League. And there's a couple pats from each guy showing a lot of respect. Each guy knows exactly how hard that role is.
Bauer, the former Seattle Thunderbird, 105 minutes in penalties last year in 59 games with the Moose.
He's gone viral a couple of times on the internet with some of the fights that he's been in the American Hockey League. Danny, he can hurt guys, and he's not afraid.
Hit that one with Brad Gallant. The Calgary Wranglers, that is, it hurts just to watch it. They went toe-to-toe. It's really something. Nurse bringing it in. The Oilers up 3. Stop there, and then Heinola will wobble it over. Pressure on Stanley. The puck comes free. Heinola moved it forward, and now it's chipped out by Niederreiter. So Brown and Bauer in the box for 5. And as that fight broke out, the Jets trembling a little bit to possibly getting on the board. Saunders checks his man Janmark, who's been around. Mentioned now 32 years old. Matthias Janmark. Barlow directs that right toward the goal. Scott Arniel said to Kevin today, watch him in practice. Speaking of Barlow, he shoots and he scores in practice. He said he's like Connor that way.
Yeah, he's really impressed with the professionalism of Colby Barlow in the offseason, getting his body more to a pro game, and that means stronger but lighter. And he's a guy that's got to win battles on the wall. That'll be a focus for him. And then tips. He had a couple of tips last game. One got pulled back from him, but he can shoot it. But he's also got great hand-eye coordination. Net front, a lot like a Gabriel Velarde, if you will.
Garaventi rolled away from him. Jilkin trying to get to that loose puck. Back to the blue line. Darnell Nurse with a long look. Decides to set it up for veteran Kulak, and he'll turn. Kulak, Nurse, wrist shot, blocked. Jilkin just fires it off the boards, trying to lead Lambert. Skating after it, Barlow. Now Lambert will sling that in, and the Jets get a much-needed change.
A lot of distance between the defenders for Winnipeg and the attackers for Edmonton when the Oilers are in the offensive zone, and that's just teaching moments once again where you stand around and react versus initiate even when you don't have the puck. That's what the Winnipeg Jets need to do a bit more of.
Guillemot leaning in on Henrik. Mangiapane, that skidded by him. Strong forecheck there as the Oilers get the puck back. Dineen turning. He's on his wrong side, if you will. A left shot playing the right side there. He'll take off to the net. Nurse wants that drop pass and has it. He got it from Savoy. Nurse looking to center it. Jets can't seem to get possession for long at this point of the game. Chipped out by Di Giuseppe. And nice play defensively by Nurse as Winnipeg's Gustafsson was knocked down.
That was a good play, a good shift from Darnell Nurse, already with a goal in this game. He's the defenseman that's up in the attack on the end wall, forechecking, creating some offense, and then wisely knows when to pull out, and he's the first man back to break the play up against Billy Heinola, trying to get the puck going the other way.
So Nurse, Szymanski, and Phil have the goals. The Oilers led it 2-0 after 1.
There's Darnell Nurse getting back. It wasn't Heinola, it was Gustafsson, my mistake, and that's good effort from Nurse.
Gustafsson looked to be in a little pain when he went down, somewhat awkwardly. Kicked at by Koepke. He'll charge after it. Cole Koepke did well to get a stick on it, and that's going to help draw a penalty. Koepke out of the corner of the backhand shot, redirected wide. Koepke buzzing around in there. Cole Koepke now to Vincentis, finally getting to the bench. Back of the line, moved by Stanley. He'll send it over, and Winnipeg, when we come back, will have its second power play. And this is why. Right here, 11:41 left in the second. Koepke doing some fine work.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets are looking to continue to grow. They set a franchise record back in 2018 with 114 points, 52 wins. Last year, they eclipsed that with a President's Trophy winning regular season. There's the numbers, 116 with 56 wins. Their goaltender had a lot to do with that. Connor Hellebuck winning the Hart and the Vezina for the third time. And as important as that is, nothing matters more to that man right there than winning your last game of the playoffs, and that is the goal here in Winnipeg. I love the fact that the Winnipeg Jets, the players and coaches are not afraid to say the S word, and that's the Stanley Cup.
They have the power play now in a deficit. Nemesnikov will wheel away through center. Fagemo crosses behind and takes it. Able to needle it through. Iafallo shoots, and that just squeaked out. But fortunately for Pickard, it missed the net. Iafallo firing, coming off that wing. Phil will backhand that one all the way down, and the Oilers will change all 4 skaters. We're near the 9-minute mark of this second period. Again, the Jets will host the Flames tomorrow at Canada Life Center. We will not have that game for you. Niederreiter brings it in against a pair of Oilers. Shovels it back. Walking is Fleury. Iafallo gives it back to Hayden Fleury. Iafallo in the slot is Nemesnikov. This is Niederreiter. Nemesnikov. Niederreiter heads toward the side of the goal. Nemesnikov. Niederreiter. Centering pass. It's loose and maybe a break the other way. Speeding up is Savoy. He's got Mangiapane to the net. Mangiapane stopped by DiVincentis. His best save of the night with the right foot. Short-handed attempt there. Close one from the Oilers as it drilled into the zone with 40 left now in the penalty. McCann Dineen. Mangiapane turns and clubs that down the ice.
A couple dangerous penalty killers on the ice for the Oilers, Savoy and Mangiapane, and they countered that. And that close, what a brilliant save from DiVincentis.
Gilkin drops it. Lambert hands it off, speeds up, gets the return pass, and sends it back to the blue line. Fleury for Pearson. Parlow. He's met in the corner. Winnipeg getting it back. Lambert looking for Gilkin. He was tied up loose in front. Barlow is there. Pearson joined as well. Stitcher gloves it down. He collides with Pearson, who goes down, but the Jets get the puck back. Heinola with a shot. I said Fleury earlier. It was Heinola. Jets again. 2 shots on that power play. There's a drive by Lambert, and it's kicked away. Some late power play pressure, but the Jets are 0 for 2 with a man advantage.
Yeah, some heavy lift in net front from Colby Barlow again. He forces the puck to go through his legs a couple of different times, and the trigger man, Brad Lambert, nicely done at the end of that power play.
Kulak takes that. The Albertan moves it forward and slugged in there by Tomaszek. Canada. Now Stanley will wrap that off the boards. Tomaszek looking for some open ice. He'll send it through. Where's 86 a right shot? He almost reminds me. He looks a bit like Peter Klima, who wore 85. Kind of a similar hunched over skating style.
Got to get the Jofa out then for that.
That's right. The best helmet ever. Whistle blown because of a glove pass. Dominic DiVincentis with a nice save just a moment ago.
In the power play, and one of the good chances. The Jets had 2 of them. Iafallo, a nice little dish. Fagemo on the entry, and Iafallo tries to go glove side on Pickard, and he gets a piece of it, trickles just wide, and then the shorthanded chance as Savoy sauce to Mangiapane, and how about that from DiVincentis? That beautifully respects the shot and then pushes for the pass. That's a nice save shorthanded to keep the Oilers from getting 4.
Bauer back on the ice after the fight with Josh Brown earlier in this period. He moved that toward the Oilers zone. There's Tomaszek. He'll nudge that ahead. Bauer trying to track it. Swinging low is Iafallo. Protecting it in the corner. Bauer pushing for it too, and Phillips comes away. And Brown all over Niederreiter. Gives a little half-hearted slash as they get back to their feet. It's pounded in there by Dineen. Oilers changing. In flight Niederreiter, but it rolled away from him. Shots 14-12. Jets 3-0. Philp with the second period goal. Nurse and Szymanski scored in the first for the Oilers. Now with a bit of speed. Here comes Brett Kulak right over the Oilers logo. Into the zone. A high shot. He wipes out that appeared to go off the stick of Tyrell Bauer. Wondering if Kulak was fine, and he was. He jumped right back up after falling into the corner boards. unheralded defenseman for these Oilers the last number of years. Now Barlow going after it. Regula. That one off the stick of Brad Lambert. Bauer looks to see that Mariala is coming. He just punches that one a little further ahead. Zhilkin looking for Lambert. It was a little deeper though. Now Heinola moving his feet quickly. Slid that to center. So the Jets, their third of 6 exhibition games. They'll play the Flames twice, and they'll play Minnesota in St. Paul on Tuesday. Their last exhibition game is next Friday in Calgary. We'll have that for you. Zhilkin gets it deep. Kepke, good shift for him the last time around.
He's not hard to notice out there. He just plays to his identity. He's drawn 2 penalties. He's been on the body. He just broke up that last play, and here he is again.
Divincentis leaves it behind the net. Now Logan Stanley slings it forward, but Pearson couldn't knock that down. He's after it again. Tanner Pearson driving wide. Circles and sends it through. And that's skipped off Nurse. Now Kepke in the corner. Bounced away from him, but he got back to it. He found Saunders. Low shot. Heavy one by Stanley. That's kicked away by the skate of Pickard. Stanley steps up. Golfed it to the corner. Nurse knocked it out of the air. Stanley finds it again.
I like that Stanley shot the puck, missed short side. If that goes wide, that's initiating the breakout for the Oilers. He tries to beat him short side. Nothing happening, but your teammates have a chance to recapture that puck, and he did.
Swept up by Di Giuseppe and punched straight to the goal. Barron on the check. Trying to strip the knee. He gets some help on the play. Di Giuseppe looking for it. Wanting it one more time. Bagimo checking Phil. Fleury is back for it. Phillips gets to center in and rips it around as the Jets continue to look to break the ice against Pickard. Phillips hustling to the boards. Bagimo had to deal with a couple of Oilers. Phil digging in. You see Gustafson there too. Referee Graham Skilleter says, keep playing, guys. Now it's loose. Janmark. It gets its way over to Dineen, and he'll fire that in. Isaac Phillips. Oilers changing. Lead pass ahead. Iafallo at center. He'll turn and whip that past Kulak. Kulak took it from his goaltender. And linesman Travis Toomey says that is icing, and it is.
We talked off the top about the chemistry between Iafallo and Nemesnikov and Niederreiter, and it's no secret they all live in the same building. It's the same building, Dan, that you and I live in, and listen, that's a small thing, but these guys hang out a lot. Nemesnikov and Iafallo are neighbors. They spend a lot of time together. We saw them all get in the same vehicle today when we were leaving for the plane, and that just adds to more chemistry, right? They enjoy spending time together at the rink and, of course, away from it as well.
Funny, I keep knocking on their doors, but they're never home, it seems.
Pouring sugar or maybe some red wine.
Exactly. There's Niederreiter in chipping away at it. Nemesnikov, too. Now they retreat and get it back. Bauer. He'll settle it. Skate strongly over the line. Tyrell Bauer, head up.
I just can't wait to find out if they're going to decorate each other's doors again this year. Halloween's coming.
Yeah, who's the real prankster there? Was it Nemesnikov?
It started with Vladdy, one little decoration, and Iafallo said he started it, and they went on forever.
There's a shot by Heinola, and it's speared by Pickard, who has stopped everything thrown his way so far. Oilers up by 3 with 4:21 left in the second period. You're watching Jets on TSN here in Edmonton. Get ready for the Women's Rugby World Cup final as Canada takes on the defending champs, the host England. Canada has not trailed in the tournament. Tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central on TSN and CTV2. A big one there between Canada and England. Dan, and there you go, the Maple Leaf. Dan and Kevin with you here tonight at Rogers Place in Edmonton. Team flew in today and bust right to the rink. Got here a little bit early and it all limbered up for this exhibition affair as Szymanski over the line. Lost it. It's batted right back out to center ice. Pounded around by Regula, former Detroit Red Wing pick. Alec Regula. Slid to center by Stanley. He was looking for Barlow. And jammed right back in. Colby Barlow, 3 years with Owen Sound, and also with Oshawa in the Ontario Hockey League. And he's trying to negate the icing, but he can't get up there in time.
Well, lots to be decided, right? I mentioned earlier for the Oilers where they've got some young guys that they're excited about. Isaac Howard, Matt Savoy. We've seen some guys in this game as well. Tomasek with a beautiful assist. And who's going to play with McDavid and Draisaitl? These guys have done, of course, everything there is to do in this game except for one thing. That is the goal. You look at the numbers. I mean, the 100-point seasons, 8 and 6 respectively. All signs are pointing to those two men starting on the same line this year. Chris Knobloch hasn't hit that, and who's going to be on their way? Zach Hyman's out, so time will tell.
Number 1 and 3 in TSN's top 50 NHLers. McDavid 1 and Draisaitl 3 with Nathan McKinnon sandwiched in between them. Howard trying to step around Heinola. Following up is Tomasek. He'll center it. A shot by Howard that went off the stick and wide. At the blue line, Nurse to the slot. Kapanen, a riser, glove save. DiVincentis knocked it down. The Oilers get it back right away, though. Penalty coming up. Edmonton's first power play coming. Unless they can score. Kapanen denied by DiVincentis. He might have even gotten a piece of that rebound. There's 6 skaters on now for the Oilers. Henrique will wind it back. The lead penalty.
Nothing, and this could be worse. Dominic DiVincentis has been excellent. He saw the shorthanded save. He's made a couple more.
Kapanen fire. That's blocked by Stanley. The Oilers maintain possession. Howard, Tomasek. Kapanen back to the blue line. Howard wants that puck and gets it. Isaac Howard as the late penalty situation continues, and now we have a whistle.
Well, that's some extra bonus time there for the Oilers with Pickard on the bench. 6
Winnipeg
on 5.
64, minor penalty, high stick.
The net is high stick on Logan Stanley right there. When his stick is high, it is high. 6'7", 230 pounds. The big man, Stanimal, as they call him around Winnipeg at times. So I believe this is the second power play of the game for the Oilers. Dan, you can correct me. Feel free.
First one. You were almost right.
That was close.
It's preseason for all of us, Kevin. So face off with 2.5 left here in the second. Dineen working the point. This is Hudson. Barrett takes a look. Flurry back there in defense. Dineen. Mariella. Dineen steps up. Doesn't shoot it yet. No, he does. Kicked away by DiVincentis, and the Oilers get it back. Henrique looking for Hudson. It was cut off, and scampering away is Koepke. He's had a good second period. Net drive. Barrett. Koepke shot, and then went off the stick and high. And it went out of play.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Cole Koepke is 1-year deal, $1 million. He was with the Boston Bruins last year, and he's a perfect fit again for a fourth line. And anytime you have a fourth liner, to me, they've got to be able to do more than one thing. Well, the penalty killer, it's going to be part of his role if he's in the lineup with Winnipeg, and when he's at 5-on-5, he's going to crash, he's going to bang, he's going to force other teams, other players to make plays before they want to. He's already drawn 2 penalties in this game, and he's been noticeable for different reasons.
Koepke, the former Lightning and Bruin, and of course from Two Harbors, Minnesota, former UMD Bulldog, not alone in that on this Jets roster. Henrique, as the power play goes on. Adam Henrique cannot tame that. It'll slide down the ice. 1:05 left in the minor to Stanley. Nurse turns with it now. Darnell Nurse. Henrique. Tomasek reels that in. Gets to the line. Henrique had a man to deal with. Gustafsson was right there, so he moved it. Gustafsson trying to break it up again. Nurse. Swings it over. Savoy hands it and gets to the slot. Open is Tomasek with a shot. That was blocked by Heinola. That stung him. And he's going to skate hunched over to the bench.
Tomasek, 86 for the Oilers, is getting a look. He has a beautiful assist on the Oilers' first goal, and he's the trigger man on this power play. Nurse was trying to find him. He was just knifed it a little bit wide.
Hayden Fleury was able to clear it with 18 left in the penalty and 48 in the second period of play. Dineen back. Nowhere to go that time for Hudson, so they'll try it again. You can hear the goaltender, Dineen, banging the stick, make that Pickard. One shot on that Oilers power play. Pickard trying to let his mates know time is running out. That shot never materialized as it's cleared by Stanley. Dineen bumped by DiGiuseppe. Ashton Sautner. That just bounced by DiGiuseppe. Dineen takes a look at the clock, and he's in no hurry, so the Oilers continue to lead this one. A second period goal. Philp got it. His strong camp continues, and after 2, it's 3-0 Oilers.
Sometimes these games are maybe harder on the goaltenders than anybody else. DiVincentis, although he's given up 3, there's been a lot of shots fired at him that haven't been easy. He's looked extremely good for me in his first action in preseason this year with the Jets. After 40 minutes, though, the Jets are down by 3.
They outshot the Oilers 8-6 in that second period of play, but yes, Terry led by 3. Nurse, Szymanski, and Philp with the goals. We'll hear from Hayden Fleury, Jets defenseman, when we come back. You're watching preseason action. The Jets on TSN. Scores don't matter in the preseason, but even if you're down 3-0, there's always positive things to look at, and one of those things for the Jets is the line centered by Morgan Barron.
It's a big line with Barron, Pearson, and Cole Koepke. Cole Koepke has really stood out for me, and I like this pickup. He scored 10 times in 73 games last year with the Boston Bruins, but when you put these 3 big men that can all skate reasonably well together, they can do a lot, and like that's just a fourth line play. Drive the puck to the net, make sure someone's going there. Cole Koepke's drawn 2 penalties in this game. He's been all over the body, and this is what he's going to do. He's going to check the puck. He's going to work the walls. He's going to be on the penalty kill. He's made a couple of really good plays on the penalty kill. That one was a backtrack 5-on-5. Here he is down a man. He's just going to make simple, sturdy plays. I've really liked him. Like I said, 10 goals he scored last year, and he's not paid to do that, but he's going to chip in with some secondary scoring, but all the while he's going to be a hard guy to play against. He plays with a lot of weight. I've liked it so far.
Yeah, I do too. I never really paid close attention to him, but just seeing his handiwork tonight, I'm impressed. Let's talk about Hayden Fleury, who you'd have to think has that third D left side pairing wrapped up, but what have you seen from him through 40 minutes of play?
Well, his words were to kind of get yourself feeling more and more comfortable, get some confidence back. I would think that he's got a lot of confidence after the way that he played last year. When he was called upon, for me, what stood out was him filling in for Dylan Sandberg in the top 4. He proved to himself and to the coaching staff, I can fill a role, and an important role. Here tonight, little plays like that. Take a hit, make a backhand pass right exactly where it needs to be. He's using his size, whether fronting the puck, winning battles net front, or on the walls. I really liked his game, and it's nothing flashy, but a 2-year contract that he signed in the offseason has been well-deserved. You can put him in different spots, higher up in the lineup if you need it to be, but a guy that can skate, he can make the first pass. He's got a level of IQ that fits well with this team.
Well said. We'll take a break. We'll see if Fleury and the Jets can muster some offense in that third period. They're down 3 here in Edmonton. Darnell Nurse with a 2-point night, as well as Josh Szymanski for these Edmonton Oilers. And yeah, we told you at the start of the game, DiVincentis was expected to go the whole way, and maybe he's been getting better as the game's gone on, Kevin.
Yeah, you know what? Through 40 minutes, I think that he's accomplished a lot, where he hasn't been easy in front of him. Not a ton of structure, and some shots coming at him that wouldn't normally. There's been a lot of room for Edmonton at times, but I think he's shown extremely well through 40.
Interesting for me, he and Milic, young goaltenders trying to make their way ahead in the pro game, and we'll see who ends up with the Moose this year. I hope to think Isaac Poulter would be there, the veteran who's backing up tonight. There's Nurse with it as we are underway in this third period of play. Glad you could join us this evening for the Jets' first road game of the preseason.
I don't think it would be a stretch here. I know the Moose didn't have the season they wanted last year. I think they're going to be an excellent team this year. They've got a lot of young talent. It's going to be perhaps back and forth between the Manitoba Moose and the Jets, but that's going to be an exciting team.
Oh, it certainly will, and some veterans to help stabilize them as well. They were the second lowest scoring team in the league last year. And there's a delayed penalty coming up in the play, so the Oilers will have their second power play unless they can score here off the rush. Kapanen, kick save by DiVincentis. Kapanen moved it back to the vacant blue line. But Mangiapane got there in time. Regula. Tomaszek shoots. That is blocked. And the whistle blows.
Courageously blocked by Al Iafallo. It's not the last time we'll be saying that by any means this year. And I think it's going to be a high stick here. Is it to Morgan Barron?
Winnipeg 36, minor penalty, high sticking.
Always the last to know. Always the last to know. Some confusion from Morgan there. All right, there, just a little clip onto the chin of Darnell Nurse as he's hunting the puck down on the forecheck. So, Dan, I believe this is the second power play of the game for the Edmonton Oilers, correct?
I believe you're right.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome. It's funny, right? You can't gauge power plays in a preseason until maybe the last game if the coaches decide to put their A lineups in. You just, I guess, try and execute the best you can as the need is.
Yeah, it's not fun, but this preseason is going to take a turn here very quickly here as we head to Winnipeg tomorrow. You're going to see the veterans, like you mentioned earlier, I would suspect, and it's going to get a lot more difficult.
Now that pass intended for the slot area from the wing by Nurse. Oh, make that Mariella, pardon me. Now back for it is Dineen. We are 2 minutes into this third period, and Cam Dineen makes his way rather cautiously towards center. Dineen, a former North Bay Battalion, good numbers at Bakersfield last year, and play disrupted just enough at the line to bring about an offside.
We talked about DiVincentis through 40 minutes of play, making some good saves and not afraid to get a little bit physical as well. You know, it could play with a little bit of edge, and goaltenders have the right to protect their blue paint. That might have been a little bit outside of the blue paint, but still, you find different ways to get noticed and a little extra business in front of the net.
So minute 11 left in the penalty to Barron. As Sautner with some penalty kill time will take that behind the goal. Ashton Sautner, 23 NHL games of experience with the Vancouver Canucks going back a few years ago. Nurse will slingshot that one back to Tomaszek. Short pass, Howard. Savoy was checked, but he made the feed anyway, and they'll set it. Tomaszek. Nurse, one-timer. Howard blocked there by Sautner, who paid the price. Back to the line and held in. Adam Henry, checked by Sautner, he centered it, but smart play by Zhilkin, and there's a penalty coming here. So we'll be 4 aside for half a minute.
It's going to be Matt Savoy. Hooking
Edmonton
call.
22, minor penalty hooking.
32 seconds remaining in the Jets penalty, so 4-4 for that amount of time before the Jets go to the power play. And Savoy that hooks against Zhilkin, who does an excellent job protecting the puck and bearing down. Draws a much-needed power play for the Winnipeg Jets after a half a minute expires.
The Jets held the Oilers to no shots on that abbreviated power play. They win the draw. Phillips zips it behind the net. Nurse waits, but he couldn't control that, so it slides back to Stanley. That was intended for Lambert. Barlow edged off there by Brown. Veteran play by him, and Kapanen will take it. Kapanen the drop pass to Nurse. Looking to ward off Barlow. Stanley has it now. So Lambert, Zhilkin, actually 4 aside as Bear gets set to come on. Will it be Zhilkin taking him when he hits the ice? We'll see. No, Barron will skate across the ice. Now Nemestikov's line is going to come on. There's Barlow. A minute and 18 left in the power play. The third tonight for Winnipeg. Fagemo. An errant pass. That'll bank back. He's looking to get it back if he can. Nemestikov as well. The Jets have it. Iafallo back to the blue line. Here's Hayden Fleury. Shot. That went off a stick. The Oilers lost a glove. It's Nurse loose in front, and a good save there by Pickard. Janmark beaten to the loose puck by both Fagemo and Niederreiter. He'll punch that one back. Fleury took it on his backhand. Spins. Nifty play. Iafallo off the skate right back to him. Shortens on the stick. Walks down the boards. Back to the blue line. Cut off by Fagemo. And now Fleury. Domestikov put it in front where Niederreiter was waiting. Not a bad idea right there. Clearing attempt. Fagemo kept it in. Jets power play continues as they look to break the ice against Pickard. Domestikov to Fleury. Shot. Changed direction off the backboards. Niederreiter went down, and it is finally cleared.
Iafallo has had his stick all over this power play. He got a quick little jab at one end tight, and then two different tips. The last one was a dangerous one, a shot from the top from Fleury. Nicely done from Iafallo.
Pearson brings it in. Jets did not register a shot that time around. Maybe something coming here. Nope. DiGiuseppe couldn't get squared away. Long pass for Savoy. He is checked on the back check by DiGiuseppe. In there is Henry, but it'll be Stanley behind the Winnipeg goal. Billy Heinola. Oh, he is knocked down by Savoy aggressively, and DiGiuseppe takes exception. Cross-checks Savoy. Heinola gets up, and a crowd gathers. Everybody's there except the goalies.
A little bit of spice in this one here with just over 5 minutes expired in this third period. Heinola gets dumped by Savoy, who's not a big man. Savoy was involved in a trade that sent Ryan McLeod to the Buffalo Sabres. Savoy, like I mentioned earlier, has got a very good opportunity to make this hockey club this year. Looks like he's going to get a lone
22,
wolf.
minor penalty tripping.
Yeah, he takes the feet out from Heinola. A little bit of a pitchfork there, and Iafallo, this is on the power play. Look at that, under check, and he still finds a way to get that puck off and onto the net, and then that high slot area, a tip attempt, he gets a stick on that one. That was 1 of 2. Here's a great look from our crew. And another one, the first tip dived, this one elevated. That's a heck of a power play, and that's why Iafallo was so valuable, whether on the penalty kill, 5-on-5, or the power play. He's useful and effective.
Again, some of those little things, and if you didn't watch closely, you might not detect in the game of Alex Iafallo. Good thing that this man, Heinola, wasn't hurt. He went down really awkwardly, courtesy of Savoy. They'll swing that to Zhilkin out with Barlow and Lambert and Pearson as they bring it into the zone. Zhilkin trying to bust in and get to it first. Now Lambert, Barlow came along to help. Pearson is bumped. It'll come loose, and Heinola immediately swings it over. Sent to the front of the net by Zhilkin. Jets get it back. Zhilkin at the half boards. Heinola slaps the stick and wants it and gets it. Lambert, Heinola, Zhilkin. Winnipeg on the power play. Zhilkin with some room. He'll step up. Shot right on. No rebound. Pickard with the save.
Nice little stutter there from Zhilkin as he just double pumps enough to freeze Darnell Nurse to get that puck through traffic. Not an easy save for Pickard. Pardon me, just watch the left of your screen there. Zhilkin is right there. Boom, double pump, and that just freezes Nurse enough to get that puck through. That's what good goal scorers do, is they find ways to make sure they get pucks to the net. 29 goals in 60 games in his last year of junior with the Guelph Storm.
Zhilkin's brother Dima played for Canada at the Malinka Gretzky tournament this summer. That's a penalty, so he went quite a while without much in the way of penalties, but maybe now Fleury getting involved and taken down. I think that's Kapanen. So that exploded rather quickly.
Oh, doing all the things you got to do to get yourself feeling good, and Fleury's done a lot with the puck. He's been on the body and attempted to drop the gloves here with another veteran in Janmark, or Kapanen, pardon me.
Kevin, we talked about the fact earlier, this game's moving right along. Back when you played, the preseason games did not move along very quickly.
They didn't. They'd be good for at least
Winnipeg 24, Edmonton
least.
42, 2 each for roughing. Winnipeg number 16, 2 minutes tripping.
And I made the comment off air that this game was absolutely flying by, which we don't say very often in the preseason. My apologies. There's the trip earlier, and then a little extra shot from Kapanen.
So it is.
Picked up on waivers last year in November from St. Louis. One-year deal of $1.3 million. He's a depth guy as well that's going to kill penalties and bring some bite as well, as you see there. Sorry, Dan.
That's okay. Former first-round pick. 22nd overall by Pittsburgh. Two-time Penguin. Nemesnikov to dig in here on the face-off against someone, honestly, with respect to him, when we were looking at the rosters the other night, I did not know this guy, Viljami Marjala, but former Quebec Rampart and the 5th-round pick of the Buffalo Sabres.
It's fun to say his name, though, isn't it?
It is. That's one of the best things of this job. You get a chance to do that as Sautner will step away, and now Nemesnikov. Short-handed, he'll drive and curl. Phillips is up there, too. Nemesnikov. For a side, I should say. That shot through a crowd. Bounces to the side of the net. There's Marjala, who played for Turku last year in Finland. Mangiapane back to him. Marjala through center ice. He's got Regula with him. He's trying to beat a couple of Jets. Sautner just stood there, put the stick on him. Phillips. 2 Oilers are after that puck. Phillips remains composed and all the way down it goes.
It'll be interesting to see what Mangiapane can do here with the Oilers. So used to seeing with the Calgary Flames. He scored 14 goals each of his last 2 years, but a career high of 35 goals 3 years ago. And the Oilers will take 15 from him, but they'd certainly like to see in the 30s. That would be a great return on a 1-year, $3 million contract.
So now the Jets shorthanded as it ripped all the way down the ice with 12 3/4 left. Nurse opened the scoring in the first period at 3:12 with the shot off the goalpost and in. Howard, a white wall at the blue line. Koepke turns it over, sprinting up ahead is Barron. Can he beat Nurse to it? Picker comes out and shoots it off the back boards. Heads up maneuver by the veteran goaltender. Barron continues on, dislodges the puck, and he's still going. Sautner whips that around. It'll find DiGiuseppe. Chip played and Savoy brings it in quickly, fires it, and that hit Sautner. And it went up and out of play.
A little extra curricular here again as this game starts to heat up a little bit more as we get to the halfway point of the third period. Veteran player in DiGiuseppe that has NHL experience, trying to show his best version of himself. Last year, 20 games with the Vancouver Canucks, had 6 points. 4 different teams in the National League: Carolina, Nashville, the Rangers, and Vancouver. Another guy that can forecheck and chip in a little bit offensively, and is a penalty killer to boot.
I mentioned some veterans being added most likely to the Moose this year. If it is one of them, if DiGiuseppe is one of them, that would help him, you would have to think. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to stay with these Winnipeg Jets, of course, as he reaches in. Sautner rips it around the boards. The penalty is over. Oilers didn't get any shots in that truncated power play, and Stetcher will spin it over. In they come. Chip wide of the goal. It'll bounce back for Gustafsson. David Gustafsson tries to get it cranked up. Long lead pass for Barlow. Dineen turns and retreats. Barlow finishes the bump. Gerventi. Tied up by Lambert. A pair of fins converging there. Lambert takes off. The pass to Zhilkin. Here he comes. The Oilers get back quickly. Zhilkin trying to needle it through there to Lambert. The Jets with 19 shots. The Oilers only with 15 and none this period. So the Oilers with Philp. Played it to the line and in. Turning is Hayden Fleury. Appreciate him joining us in the second intermission. He'll catch up to it. Fleury looking for Lambert. Off his stick and in. Again, Lambert has played all 3 exhibition games. At center, Marjala, little stutter step. Niederreiter trying to turn the corner on Brown. He knocks him down, but that'll slide right to the goaltender. And Brown pushing Niederreiter a little bit. Doesn't appear anything will come of that. Still 3-0 Oilers.
More than than a chance to win. It's a chance to make a difference.
Text Jets to 20450 for your Winnipeg Jets 50/50 tickets, presented by Play Now.
Win half the jackpot, support local youth, and change the game together.
It's getting loud in here now with 10.5 left in the third period. You ever play the 50/50, Kevin, online for any of these Oilers games?
I've never played it, but I've always just been amazed with how high these numbers get in this. What is it, Alberta? You have to be in Alberta, I think, to buy a ticket.
Well, might be worth the trip.
Just over 200,000.
Oilers on the loose puck. Regula backing off. Good to see if the Jets might be able to creep one in as that's sent toward the net, but Pickard has been a wall so far. Good stuff that even catches. Capital scores on the rebound. And it's breaking loose again. That's a pile up. Stanley's in there. Cabinet, Tomaszek. Billy Heinola. Niederreiter trying to get free. The Cabinet involved again, and Stanley wants a piece of Cabinet, and the linesman has a hold of Stanley.
I don't mind this at all. You know what? A little extra shove to Heinola, who's down on one knee after the goal goes in. The fourth tuck of the game, and Stanley says, well, I'm going to get the last laugh here, and that's exactly what he needs to do. He's the biggest man out there, and he needs to play that way. That's what he's doing here, standing up for a teammate. And certainly saying we're not going to get pushed around here, although we're getting pushed around on the score clock. It's been that kind of a third period here. Take a look at the goal first. It's a bit of a breakdown net front, a little bit too much time, and you see the way Kapanen comes out of the corner. And a little toe drag, and that one was way too easy. Edmonton finds their fourth of the game. It's Mangiapane, and Kapanen flicks that one into the empty net. A beautiful first save from DiVincentis, and there's that little extra shove from Mangiapane, and Stanley's saying, and then he's got four guys draped all over him, but I don't mind it. Make a statement. Let's remind everybody at home the Jets have 9 NHL defensemen on their roster, and it's opportunities up for grabs. Logan Stanley stands tall.
Yeah, he was really mobbed there after he went in and shoved the Oiler player, Mangiapane. So it is now 4-0 Kapanen. And it was a nice save originally by DiVincentis, but Kapanen scored the rebound, and he's done for the night as Kapanen. And Barron's going to take exception as Savoy poking in there.
Yeah, a little extra, right? Good for Savoy. It goes to the net hard. A little extra emphasis on that net drive, but feel some emotions here creeping into this game with exactly 10 minutes to go in the third. Just back to Logan Stanley, where, you know, he can do a lot of things that other D-men can do, but there's certain things that Logan can do that most others can't, and he can't be 6'7". I like the way, I love it when he shows his teeth like that. A little extra shot from Savoy as he does the buzz of the towel.
The last goal was Kapanen from Mangiapane and Brett Kulak to make it 4-0. Howard sends it cross ice. It is 5 skaters aside. Henry going back in front of that. The Sauter now they release behind the goal. Henry chopping away at it. A good player for a long time, Adam Henry. A pass for Koepke. Pearson absorbed a hit. Now Barron slowly toward the line. He'll try and crank it up a little bit. Driving behind the net. Brown stops him. Barron is knocked down. Fagemo came in assistance. Now Brown, who fought with Tyrell Bauer earlier, helps start the breakout. Bauer out there now. He'll speed over after it. Absorbs a light bump and gives a little shove to Mariella. Stepping up, DiGiuseppe. Wobbles that one in. Pickard sees it bounce over his stick. Stetcher back. Clears it around the boards. Here's Bauer. Lifts a shot that hit the stick of Järventie, who checks to make sure his stick's still intact. Now Mariella. Nurse sees Järventie heading to the corner. Checked by Phillips. Bauer. Pagamo saucers one, and Giuseppe attempted to knock that one down. Regula. He'll get the back pass from Janmark and carry it in. Alec Regula, low shot. Redirected wide. Phil. Point pass attempt. He fanned on it. Bumped by Lambert. Zilkin jumps up. Danny Zilkin. Jets are changing. He's able to get it in. Lambert quickly on the puck for Winnipeg. Brad Lambert, side of the net. And lost possession as Phil got it to center. Cut off by Barlow. He'll dash in. Colby Barlow with a quick release. Ends up off the backboards. A sign of his good shooting ability right there.
He didn't even get out all of it, and that puck still comes off his stick really quickly. He's got a deceptive, quick little release. Colby Barlow does.
Well, he goes right on with 7.5 to go now in this 4-0 Oilers lead. Regula pumps that one around, and Bauer waiting for it. Iafallo gets to it. Stepped in front of Mangiapane. Jets breaking out. Sotner will join the rush on the left side. The puck, I think, was targeted for him from Niederreiter, but it was blocked. Howard looks for a trailer and pass between the two of them. It was Tomaszek and Mangiapane. Tomaszek able to knock that one down. He's knocked down, but he made the pass first. Nino Niederreiter doubling back a couple of times. Sotner with it. Jets and the Oilers change players now. There's Sotner. Able to get that through to center. It'll come right back to him. Play slowing now. Phillips. Isaac Phillips. Gun that one to center. Pearson is offside. It's been all Oilers. 4 different scorers in this 4-0 lead.
Squad. Introducing the Jets Kids Club, the ultimate fan experience for young hockey fans. Open to kids 12 and under. Spots are limited. Sign up today and make this season the most memorable yet.
Well, there's a costume for you. Some kids having a grand time here in Rogers Place. Beautiful, one of the newer buildings in the National Hockey League. Oilers tonight. Heinola paired with Phillips. He'll blast that one in. Josh Brown. Phillips steps up. Mangiapane, Szymanski rather, has got a couple of points tonight, dumping it in past Kepke. Heinola, clever little back pass there to help facilitate a breakout, but Kepke lost it, and they'll have to go back after it. Morgan Barron elects to lift that one down the ice. Jets hosting the Calgary Flames tomorrow at Canada Life Center. Very quiet now inside Rogers Place. Gustafsson, DiGiuseppe, and Pagamo. That's the forward line right now. Gustafsson hustles back to help. Pagamo, former LA King. Sotner jumps ahead. Dumped it past Nurse. Giuseppe barging in there. There's Darnell Nurse. His goal standing as the main winner right now. Tomaszek weaving his way. He's a crafty looking player, number 86 for the Oilers.
I think that we're going to see him in the NHL. He's been really good tonight, and it's preseason, but led the SHL in scoring. He led the SHL 2 years ago in goals. He's played in the KHL, Liga. He's been all around. It's a good pickup here from the Oilers.
One shot. Block. You know that there's gold to be found in some of those leagues in Europe. You and I, we've seen the old championships, and there's guys, and you kind of look at them and think, why is he not in the NHL? And there's a number of those players around.
That is absolutely true.
You get one on the cheap, all the better. As Barlow is forechecking, but the Oilers come away with it. Turning back, Heinola. Long pass for Colby Barlow. Kind of bobbled it a little bit.
think the biggest challenge for those guys coming over to North America, they would all, I think, agree, is just the physicality, right? The way the game is played here is different than overseas. And if you can adjust to that, or at least play and score while you're being leaned on a bit more, then you got something.
Jumping ahead is Zilkin. Maybe something coming off the rush. Barlow sent it back. Here's Hayden Fleury, but it skipped away. It's been that kind of a night for Winnipeg, as Hudson will just dump that one in. Promising looking rush. Didn't go anywhere. 3:48 now to go. Barron. Two men trying to check him. Fleury knocks that ahead.
Well, as Scott Arniel talked about this morning with us, they're approaching the time of camp where they've got to thin the herd. I think they're still going to keep some of these guys around for perhaps the game in Minnesota on Tuesday, but this is going to get a lot cleaner here as some of the veterans start to enter the lineup. We haven't seen the top line with Connor, Scheifele, or Velarde play yet. We're going to see them in the next, or two of the next three.
Phillips looking to pull away from Järventie. Regula got it ahead. Jets changing. Bauer hustling to get into position. Järventie, sharp angle shot, and he took a bump from Phillips. Järventie lost his stick. He's heading off anyway. Bauer looking for the puck at center. He'll get back into position again. Regula, stick handling, and waited a little bit too long. Howard was ahead. The latter stages of this preseason game here in Edmonton. Well, you saw that opening weekend, the Stars and the Kings. The Stars with bad news with Jamie Benn. That he'll be out for about a month. And the Stars, they're like the Jets, right? They're very competitive. Two of the top teams in the league, it seems, the last few years. So we look forward to that. And Kings always bring it too.
Yeah, that won't be an easy start. Those are two admirable opponents to start the regular season off with. Scary with Jamie Benn. You don't hear that very often, a collapsed lung.
Exactly.
All the best to him.
Anze Kopitar, too, Kevin, getting set to play his last season.
Yeah, what a character player. He'll certainly be missed, needless to say. Two-time Stanley Cup champion.
Gustafsson for the Jets. Looking to tee it up for Bagamo, but that gets out of the zone. Well, you can only hope that the excitement around the Jets and the terrific regular season they had last year repeats this year. That the magical 15-1 start, as that is blown down, and it's tough to replicate that, but that was really something else.
I don't know that the goal is to replicate the regular season. I mean, sometimes adversity is a tool, and Scott Arniel has talked about the two areas that they want to take from last year and improve on this year. And to me, that's the compete level and what it takes to compete and win in the NHL playoffs, and then the resiliency when things don't go well. How do you respond? It's not an easy road to the last game.
Howard speeding down that wing. Sutner looking to keep up with it. Mangiapane, he's been a factor here tonight against the Jets. For the stop and start move. Barlow watching to the blue line. Kulak. Stetcher yelling Cooley. Cross ice pass. Good stick by Barlow. That was intended for Kolachek, who's being leaned on now by Barlow. Mangiapane side of the goal. Looking to squeak free if he can. He's still reaching for it. Good persistence from these Oilers. Up big, late. And off a stick and out. So the Jets, for what it's worth, will fall to 0-3 in the preseason. Second loss to the Oilers. They lost to the Wild as well in the opener. There we go. Under a minute to go now. Fleury for Morgan Barron. Open is Bauer. He'll jump up. Why not? Takes it down the side with a bit of momentum going. Bauer continues on. Barron holding on to it. Turning again. Morgan Barron looking for a little help. Probably trying to get it to Pearson there. And the Oilers get it out. Now, Phil, will he make the regular season roster? We shall see. Fleury, 20 seconds to go. Now Barron Gets through and wrists one high. Aaron coming off the rush that time, but couldn't hit the net. The Jets with 20 shots, maybe a late chance here, and a penalty coming with 5 seconds to go as Savoy walked right in.
I think everybody here was hoping to see a penalty shot. It was awfully close to that. Just a flub shot from Fleury. It puts a little salt in the wound
24,
here.
2 minutes tripping.
Matt Savoy is a very skilled player. In tight with very little time. Fleury gives it up and then will finish this game in the box.
Well, Fleury still, even though there's 4 seconds left, he's frustrated by that call. By that play, anyways.
By the play, I would say, yeah, you bet.
So the Oilers led from top to tail tonight. 1 in the first, 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Shutout for Pickard. 21 save shutout, and they win it 4-0 over the Jets.
It was a tough night here for Winnipeg, but some learning lessons for sure for some of these young guys, and more evaluation from Scott Arniel and his crew. DiVincentis, it wasn't easy, give up 4, but I thought that he looked really good at times. He handles the puck extremely well. He's a young goaltender with a bright future ahead, and the Edmonton Oilers commanded play for majority of this game tonight. 4-0 victors here in Edmonton.
Nurse scoring. He had a goal and an assist. Szymanski did as well. Noah Philp with a goal, and Kasperi Kapanen got the 4th as Oilers fans dancing as they get another exhibition season win. So Winnipeg, as mentioned, will host Calgary tomorrow, then be at Minnesota on Tuesday. Our next game is next Friday when the Calgary Flames will host the Winnipeg Jets, and that is the final preseason matchup for Winnipeg. For Kevin Sawyer and the rest of our TSN crew, I'm Dan Robertson. Appreciate you watching. The Oilers beat the Jets 4-0. Good night from Edmonton.